So welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make baked oats, and it's a real old-fashioned Dutch way of serving oatmeal. And you want to start with 2 cups of oats. And this is the real thing, not the quick oats, but the regular oats from Quaker I usually use. And we're going to add to that 2 cups of milk. There's 1. And 2. And then we're also going to add 2 cups of boiling water. 1 and 2. And we're going to stir that a little bit, and we're going to set it aside and just let that soak up a little bit. So I don't forget, I'm going to spray my pans. Now you can use a rectangular, like 9 by 12 bake pan if you like, or if you have a bunch of people in your family who all like different things, you can take different shapes and sizes of containers. This is a smaller version of the larger pan. And here are some round muffin tins, the extra large ones. And just spray the pan in there so the oatmeal comes out really nice. And what we have to do is chop up 2 cups of fruit into small bits. Now you can either cut up 2 apples if you just want to use apples, or as I said, if you have people in your family who like different things, you could use a cup of blueberries in part of it, and that makes a really good oatmeal. And then there are those who like dried fruit, like raisins or cranberries. It could be apricots or any kind of dried fruit, really. But the key is to have little bite-sized pieces when you're done. The other thing that's popular to add to oatmeal is nuts. Not everybody likes nuts, but if you have someone in your family who does, you can have some walnuts or something, pieces of walnuts, and chop them up if they're big and whole. And have those ready to go to put into some of the proportions. So while that was setting up a little bit, we also want to go back here and add a ½ teaspoon of salt, and we want 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. And I'm not going to skimp on these, because I really like brown sugar. This is Domino's. There we go. And we need 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm going to take that open and I can get down in there. 1 and 2. And again, we want to make sure that's all stirred together really well. It's not a hard dish to make, but you do have to prepare it in advance. That's not a bad thing, because you can even refrigerate this and then heat it up with a little bit of milk, and it'll taste delicious in the morning if you make it at night. Or if you make it in the morning and it's not all gone, you can have some for another time. You should leave this sit about 5 minutes total before we pour it into the containers, but we're getting there. So what I'm going to do now is divide up my fruits, and I'm going to put some blueberries on one end of this small casserole dish, and I'm going to put some blueberries in 2 of the muffin containers. And then I'm going to take my chopped up apples and put those in the other side here, as well as back here, and of course on this side of my loaf kind of pan. Okay, so now we're going to work on putting our oats into the containers. Okay, so we have one tin full of individual servings and another loaf pan full of half apples and half blueberries. And we're going to take our Reynolds wrap and make sure that the oatmeal is covered so it doesn't get too brown. It's better if it's soft and fluffy. And just for fun, I had a few nuts left. I'd like to use them up. So I'm going to put those in the one. Okay, now we have to start up the old cook stove. And we're going to put it in the oven and bake it on 350 for 45 minutes. That's all there is to it. Okay, so here's some of the finished dishes. This one is the apple walnut. This one is the apple cinnamon. And then we have 2 blueberries. So I'm just going to try a blueberry right now. Wow, that's really good. Fresh blueberries, hot oatmeal, fresh out of the oven. I hope you try it and enjoy it. Good night.